This is Marissa Lenti, and you are about to watch a Dicejunkies gameplay video.
This is BloodX, and welcome to another Dicejunkies gameplay video. As always, we hope you enjoy.
Yo, what's up? This is Dicejunkies back here again with some more Elden Ring for you guys. More importantly, the Faith build. We have done as we have promised. We have acquired the rest of the Faith, well, not all of them, but a large chunk of the ones that we were looking for, including the much desired Beast Claw, which we are about to throw into the repertoire right now. And interesting enough, we actually found what may be the best toss-out spell in the whole game, Lightning Spear. So we're going to tell you where to find that, and then we're going to showcase Beast Claw here, and then I'll show you the dragon and certain boss killing strategy of absolute, holy crap, this just breaks the whole game almost, against the right type of enemies ability. You notice that we were doing a lot of the dragon powers. Not many other people seem to be into it. It seems to be something that mainly the boys doing, but that's fine. We've also got the item that makes you cast spells a little bit faster. Don't know how much, but every little bit helps. As you see, I'm level 60. I got most of the points where I want them, so now I'm working on, we're going to start building up dexterity, more than likely, in order to cast faster. Because honestly, the speed of casting is a big deal. We also got the potency incantations item here. As you know, we like to use our finger seal. There's a Godslayer seal out there somewhere, but I don't believe I've found it yet. Nope. So I'll probably look at that. So honestly, the Godslayer spells, I found out what those are. They're black flame spells. They're specific spells that you can get that allow you to basically get a black flame version of Flame Sling and then a black flame version, I believe, of the sword boost. Don't know if those are really that powerful or not. They're on my list to snag, but given that it seems to function like Flame Sling, unless it's just some incredible thing, I doubt it's going to beat what we have here. But we have acquired some other Dragon Breath. Come to find out, my first advice is not really the sharpest. There's actually a Dragon Cathedral down here that has massively better Dragon Breath available, mainly Ice, Arcane, and Decay. You also can unlock, as you saw, special version of breath weapons there. As you kill certain dragons, you can learn their breath attack, which is the one I'll show you, because you've already seen what the normal breath weapon looks like. Well, you know what, we'll throw them both out there. We'll let you look at both of the Rotten Breath, since you can do that from horseback. The special breath weapons cannot be done from the back of a horse, but they do significantly more damage. So when you're on foot, you'll want to use those. When you're on horseback, you'll want to use those. And we'll give you a little showcase here. Beast Claw is still a very good spell, but honestly, it's not in my repertoire because it can't serve my purpose with some of the other spells I have. Early game, it would have been useful. In fact, I'll honestly say From Software made this spell way too hard to get, considering how easy some other spells are to get and how much better they do stuff. But it's still a very solid spell if you don't want to level your Arcane in order to, you know, suck up to the little dragon stuff. Yes, I finally have enough health that doesn't one shot. If you saw the spell, it hits pretty hard, comes out at a pretty decent speed, and it can be charged. If you charge up, it hits even harder. So it's got a decent cast, and will roll through enemies and get multiple hits, and does good damage. At a cost of 10, it really is a solid spell. Like, there's plenty of scenarios where fighting groups of enemies, this spell is pretty solid. It's really the only reason I'm not using it is because my playstyle has me in love with a different spell, but it is everything it's meant to be. Like, the thing is, I'm in the high level areas. I haven't even killed the Godric or the other one or gotten any rune pieces, but as you can tell from my map here, I done been all up in the high level zones. Because let's be honest, I don't play Elden Ring for the story. I play it to grind up and become a beast. I love leveling and I love challenge. So that's always it. I'll go spank those bosses when I'm in the mood for it. But the spell that made me not use Beast Claw that often, which I'm reevaluating, the main thing is that you've got to be in an area where you're fighting multiple enemies to get Beast Claw. And I've been over here at the Academy where this spell ain't going to do spit. The enemies there are not going to give you a chance. They're all mages and they're pounding you with fast cast magic. So, but there's probably a lot of areas where Beast Claw, everything is cracked up. Low cost to use, and great damage. And more importantly, you can group up enemies and just plow them. Comes out way faster than the Dragon's Breath, so it's everything it should be. But the spell that's really given by go-to for going through that area is the Lightning Spear. Now, getting the Lightning Spear is pretty easy. I was shocked how simple it was. You simply go to the Church of Vows, a great place to learn incantations, especially because at a certain point, your main guy here apparently leaves. So don't give him books for spells that you're not going to buy on the spot, because I don't know where he goes to. I think he goes looking for his master or something. You don't want him to run off with your friggin' incantation. So I say give him this guy because he doesn't complain about, also story-wise, he doesn't believe in heresy, so he doesn't complain about you bringing him these, deviant incantations. So he's my boy, my big turtle bro. Here, you head to that place, you'll see something awesome. Don't kill whatever you find in the Church of Vows. Outside the Church of Vows, walking around will be a knight. He's a dragon knight, as in he knows dragon powers or whatever. At least they call him a dragon knight. But you kill this guy, and you'll get the prayer book. The Dragon Cultist prayer book, which when you take back here, will allow you to learn Lightning Spear. Lightning Spear is possibly one of the best spells in the entire game. I was shocked. It's so unreasonably powerful. I don't even know why. You can charge it up to do a very powerful, look at that, 279 hit. But here's the crazy part. It also casts really fast when you just cast it. This is the fastest casting spell I think I've seen in the game that's ranged. And it hits incredibly hard. It costs 17 or 19, I believe. But, when you go into efficiency, and that's the key, efficiency, it's for the FP cost, it is an insanely efficient spell. Because if you remember, Beast Claw only costs 10, if I'm right. But it was doing 200 and so, about 230, 240. And when I charged it up, it was doing about 350. Well, Lightning Bolt costs 18, which is 2 Beast Claws, but if you're fighting a single target, it's doing like 490, almost 500 hit, upper 400, and charged like 700 almost. So you're getting a lot of efficiency out of this. Note that charge blast can hit multiple enemies if they are right on each other. There is a slight explosion. So this spell is the spam spell to kill something quick, or more importantly, these enemies, remember, are very powerful here. You can use it to snipe the hell out of enemies. It's a very good snipe spell for sneaking and killing enemies in a range. I snuck through the entire mage castle just sniping enemies with this and refilling my mana. I'm up to, I think, 8 flash now. And I can usually get to the boss with a few flash left, or at least go from one sacred site to another without completely emptying my reservoir, which is desirable, obviously. You just snipe thunder, get to the next area, call it a day. This spell is one of Moxie's favorite. Moxie is a guy on YouTube that I follow because of his Borderlands 3 content and his Tiny Peanuts. He's also doing Elden Ring. And I bring it up because I'm still on the fence about that spell. Let's look at its cost. This is a Frozen Lightning spell that could be used as a replacement for Beast Claw. It's slower and costs more, but it does hit way harder. The only thing I don't like is that part of the spell seems to have a delay, and I'm not a fan of that. It's also loud, so when you're sneaking up on an enemy, they tend to become aware that you're there. Like, I wouldn't even try to cast it in that situation. You see I'm trying to get him to do something a little bit with it. But you'll hit the ground and send out lightning, and then the lightning will set out. Now, the spread is big, as you can see. It's a very large area, and it hits very hard, but it's expensive. But it is true that while it costs a lot more than Beast Claw, it also hits for, again, like 3 Beast Claws worth of damage, which is about 30. It does lightning, which is a very good element, non-physical, so it gets through quite a few resistance. I think these enemies may be weak to lightning, too. They seem to take a lot. So it evens out, but the slower cast and the effect makes it a bit riskier. I think the initial slam may be able to hit, because I've hit with it twice before, but it's not safe to try to do. So probably safer to just use Beast Claw, especially because I'm fighting enemies that can take this hit. But Beast Claw should be able to kill later, like weaker enemies, pretty easy. Though, of course, the catch to that is by the time you've got Beast Claw, you've gone way past carry. This spell would have made life a lot easier. Rotting Breath and Ezekiel. Now, it has against today, you have to kill the Decayed Dragon, which is somewhere down here, I believe. No, he was in a circle loop. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I caught him on my way to this site. This is the site you'll fight him from. He'll be here, the Decayed Dragon. But Rotting Breath you can use without doing that. So, don't, at least I believe you can get, yeah, you can get Rotting Breath without it. And you can use it from your horse. Rotting Breath may be the dumbest dragon spell in existence to use on anything but literal undead and corrupted tree guardians that are full of their own rot. Because Rotting Breath just ain't fair. I killed the dragon on the bridge with just Rotting Breath. And I will show you why. Rotting Breath is an anti-living creature spell. It tears living enemies a new butthole. It seems to do massive damage, even more damage than some of the other elements, barring, again, the enemy being specifically vulnerable to what you're doing. But this is why. Look at that damage. Now note that this is a vile type enemy in that, I don't think he's considered to be clean. But one fully charged Rotting Breath killed that guy. Like one Rotting Breath. Now, I did a fully charged, but let me show you what happens if you don't and how I killed the dragon. One of the toughest dragons I ever fought, killed each. Now, that's the minimal breath. Now, we're going to chill out, and if you notice, he's taking continual damage. And his damage is not insignificant. Like, on the dragon, it was still a noticeable tick down. This effect, especially a fully charged breath, can do enough to, if you wait it out, it will bleed out a full half of the dragon's health if you can get one of these full blasts off. So I literally poisoned the dragon, kept my distance, allowed him to bleed down to half health, went in, hit him with a couple more blasts, killed the dragon. Destroyed it. I've also fought some of the other bosses, and if I can get the bosses to sit still, like I said, to healthy living enemies, this rot breath is just insane. I mean, I don't know what type of damage it's doing, but the damage is no joke. It does way more tick damage than poison. It seems to be blood rot, which is a high tick damage. Like I said, it does great damage on... The first thing I found that didn't care about it was exclusively the, what's that big boy that gave us all that trouble? A rotted herb. Like, some of the herb tree guardians are corrupt. As you see, our homeboys calm down. I spanked his cheeks. Got on with some of those new spells. Turns out you don't have to do a lot of damage. I mean, you have to do almost a penance. So he takes very little damage, but you don't have to do a lot to get him to cool his cheeks and learn to calm himself. As you see, he can calm the hell down. That's right, sucker. Whipping my butt until you found out you might actually die. And this is before I had rot breath. If I had rot breath, I honestly would have been scared I would have killed him. Because, like, I killed Patches for, yeah, spoiler. Well, is it a spoiler? If you're a Dark Souls main, you knew Patches was here. And I unfortunately did the sin. I've gotten chewed out by some of my friends for killing Patches. But in my defense, I don't know how to have not killed Patches. Because unfortunately, I killed him with the breath weapon. And I never even saw him surrender. He fought to too low a health, I blame him. He should have quit earlier. But that is one thing. If it's an enemy that you're trying not to kill, like it has to be careful, because rot breath will keep hitting them, which could cause them to re-aggro after they attempt to surrender, or cause them to bleed out anyway. But that spell is insane. Now, the special version can only be done on the ground, but it does more damage. I'm feeling foggy, and I thought you guys would like to see me die. Y'all always seem to enjoy that. So this enemy here is an incredibly powerful enemy in front of the Beast Temple that luckily won't aggro unless you start craft. In fact, I don't even know if you're supposed to start craft with them. Like, it may be a literal case of you're supposed to leave him the heck alone. Oh, no, he will actually aggro. Okay, that's the first time we've ever done that. He literally never aggroed on his own. I've roadblocked him a bunch of times. Maybe it's a time frame thing. But I gave up the advantage of the sneak attack because I got too confident there. But, that's what life's about. I'm going to show you the special breath weapon, which causes you to float in the air, which unfortunately is why you can't use it from horseback, but it's even more powerful. It does even more rot damage and just hits like a tank. And if you can get a free shot off on a boss, then what you do is you summon your whammy. Where the heck did my thing go? They plugged my thing under his feet even though he killed me up here. Really? Alright, Dark Souls, right? I mean, Elden Ring. But, if you can get a shot of this off on a living type boss, they're usually going to take a massive amount of damage. And then if your summons manages to distract them, like after you do it, you can sit back and let them tick away. Heal yourself up and take pot shots with your lightning or something else while they're ticking away. Alright, let's start a fight that we know we can't win. Not just trying to fight something I got good idea to fight. Now, this enemy is insanely tough. If you don't believe me, trust me, that was incredible damage. Like, I'm shocked that did that much damage. Ooh. Okay. Continue with the boy now. We never thought of doing this, but it looks like he's good. Which we all are. Okay, he's got some kind of range move. Alright, you notice that he appears to be immune to blood rot, which is whoa! And he has a range move. Ah, but it didn't kill it. Alright, so, they got you. Okay. Now, as you can see, I thought he was a living type enemy, but he may be a statue, because he is a rare case of being immune to blood rot, which is a DOT. Okay, you paying attention. Good. But I am curious now what he really is. Nope, he cannot. And he's killed. And he's killed me. Curious now. I'm really curious about what he really is. Because, like, blood rot would normally be ticking away, but he seems to be immune. So whatever he is, it is not your average creature. But normally the blood rot would have been tearing his health up. And what I would have did then is I would have stepped back into the building, kept my distance, let them bleed out, as it were. But as you saw, that wasn't doing anything. Let's see if lightning does any damage to him. I know y'all are probably going, why am I doing this? But I'm just now curious about what he is. Okay, lightning does have a range, not infinite. Oh, that's doing decent damage. You don't like lightning. Unfortunately, there's no lightning breath weapon. And I haven't found a higher tier lightning. Whoa! That one was unexpected. So people, remember, it's never a bad idea to be help. If he couldn't attack through walls, I would try to hit him with the frozen lightning, which does go through walls, but you can see how well that's going for me. Let's see if we can get our boy to give it a little bit of trouble. Wow, he is determined and focused on the main target, isn't he? Let's see if the lightning can go through the wall and get it. anything or what? Well, he feels that sucker and okay. Enemies can often attack your walls. Be careful of that. That's another. I mean, and the golden rule of anything made from Software is to always assume that it kind of reminds me of an old Hackmaster joke we used to have about Hackmaster, which is in every situation, rule against the player. So if there is a point where you're trying to decide if something can work, the general rule will be not for you. Can you attack through the wall? They can. You can. Can you do this? You know, it's an old joke that we used to always have from our Hackmaster days. It's not every Hackmaster DM was like that. Hackmaster was a tabletop game, but there was the running gag of if it's possible, then for it to be ruled against the player, then you rule against the player. Now, that was always the rule. I'm curious about this. An actual spell that summons things. I love playing Necromancer, so I may have to at some point give that a genuine try. I love the idea you may see a Necromancer build in the future, people. Wouldn't that be hot? You know, we may see that. We may see a genuine Necromancer run in the future. So keep your eyes open for that. I may see if I can. The problem is I'm almost sure I got this spell from the third Chiron Boatman, Tribunal Mariner, or whatever they call him, Tiber Mariner, and that was a heck of a fight. Though, again, I did not have some of these spells, you know. Plus, there is one huge advantage, which is that is a Magic Faith build, which is the thing I was talking about playing. And I can actually show you, I have it now. I'll show you why playing the Magic build is a joke. I was going around in this area here. I don't know exactly, so sorry, but I was messing around in these areas over here. There's somewhere you can get an exact tab of where they are. It's pretty deep in the swamp. I want to say it's near the Crystal Tunnel exit. Yeah, I was in this Crystal Tunnel, and then I went around in that area, and I found it. And there is let's show you this craziness here. You can literally grab your horse and go get this staff, the Meteorite staff. Now, this insane piece of, oh my god, are you effing kidding me? Is the Meteorite staff, which as you notice, is a flipping S intelligence scaling staff. Yes, that's right. My level 8 item isn't at S yet for faith. This is a staff you can find. You only need to level up a few times and boost your intelligence a little bit from like the astrologer to be able to wield this insanely powerful magic staff, which also boosts gravity sorcery. Because, you know, F you. That's... No, its requirements are less than the Academy Glintstone staff. I don't know either. I'm looking at the two staffs. Other than this one being heavier, I have no idea why. I couldn't tell you why this has higher requirements than this incredible piece of beauty here that is just an absolute beast. And then, in that same area, if I remember correctly, I managed to find a chest that had a, let's see, can't you do this in a way where it will, sorceries. They found Rock Sling, which is a spell that is a gravity spell. It is a gravity spell that shoots out these rather powerful rocks, again, intelligence 18, FP cost 18, that hits really hard, like is a really powerful sorcery. So I won't even lie, as much as I've been having fun with my faith build, I have been eyeballing playing around with a wizard. Like, but if I was to do it, I would do it from game start, which makes me nervous, because I don't know if you can have multiple games. I'm assuming logically you can. I also could respec my faith, but I've got most of the spells I wanted. And I definitely am curious about going pure wizard. If I do, I will show you people the goods. I'll show you the goods of trying wizard versus faith. Now don't get me wrong, like I said, there's some powerful faith spells. The dragon breath is just a beast. I don't know if anything can match up to the raw power of some of these dragon spells for bosses. I've killed all the Erd Tree Guardians with flame breaths and other breath weapons easily, just spamming them and tearing them a new cheek. Any enemy that's slow or has a slow recovery I can get, especially big enemies, I can obliterate with breath weapons in a way that makes everything else seem like a joke. So I am curious how the wizards can hold up to just the raw, unadulterated insanity that is like the dragon castings, which are just everything you can hope they could be. Work from horseback. Just, I really can't praise them enough for how many insanely tough battles I've won, even on foot. The getting lucky and catching an enemy off guard and getting them with a full blast. And I mean, this was back when I was dumb and I didn't know that there was a better temple that had magic breath weapon. So I was using fire. And there are plenty of scenarios where I'm pretty sure the rot breath or raw magic breath would have been a much better option. In fact, you know what? We'll give you one last death before we go out. And then I think I'm going to play around a bit with the wizard, because I like to run simultaneous characters. We may give you a boss run as well when I actually get to the bosses and give you a faith versus mage boss run. But for now, I'm curious about the alternate path to Magic 2. But let's see if this does any more damage. We'll show you what it looks like to do the raw magic breath weapon. Alright. Oh, okay, yeah, that's doing actually pretty good damage, so he don't like getting hit with raw magic. Maybe he is a gold. Yeah, pump, boom. Woo! Alright, so if I had the magic breath weapon I could use from my horse, I probably could kill him. I probably could actually wear him down. That amount of damage is about the amount you want to see off of a full blast. If I was to put out a summons, grab a horse, I'd need to kill I don't have enough hearts, I think, to get the pure magic breath. I think I've burnt most of the hearts I had. But if we had the ability to get all I gotta do is go kill another dragon. And at this point, the dragons are no longer an issue. My breath weapons are just too good. Especially any enemy that's not immune to rot breath, I can just wear them down if I need to. Like I said, it's a really good GLT. Only beaten out by maybe bleed. If there ever was anything that did bleed as a spell, it'd be over. And honestly, if there was, it would probably be an incantation, honestly. And I've been wondering if anything will come up. If there was a bleed breath weapon, would have break the game. But bleed is, by the way, the win build. I killed the mother of all dragons with bleed, because it does a percentage when it builds up. So if you get 2 bleed weapons, or you get the bleed dagger that has a range attack that fits bleed, you can definitely take that big chunk of percentage damage and wear down anything. They were smart. Now this is why though that the king of Elden Ring is probably bleed, because I'm about to show you something scary, and that is this. That's horrifying. There are bows there's a recipe for bleeding arrows. Heck, there's several ones. Yeah, there's several frigging bolts and arrows that do bleed. Honestly, archery's probably going to be insanely good in this game, because there's already skills I've seen that let you fire multiple arrows, and bleed is just dumb against high hit point enemies. The tankier the enemy is, the more powerful bleed is. So just a little side tip. But alright, you've seen the main fate spells. The secret is, you need to get your arcane up to at least 15 to use a lot of these breath weapons. But the breath weapons are just really no joke. I mean, they really are. No nonsense. I mean, you're looking at some of the best offensive magics you can get your hand on. They do massive, massive damage. And when you can catch an enemy just slightly distracted and get the full spray, you can take out pretty much anything in the game. I'm a glass cannon, as you see, or just I probably shouldn't be in half the places I'm at, but and it's working. So the faith build to me is about dragon and lightning. Get your lightning bolt. If you get your beast claws, it's a really good. I have a whole bunch of fights I need to go through spell where I need to hit multiple enemies. It gets the job done well. It was worth the wait-ish, but the fight to kill the last Mariner and wearing down this guy was a headache. And the Mariner is undead, so, you know, don't go in there trying to kill him with the frigging rot breath, obviously. Use a fire or pure magic, probably pure magic. There's a lot more fire resistance in this game than I care for, which is why I learned the magic breath weapon. Because, like, the enemies that are vulnerable to fire get tore up by it, and they definitely exist. But there's a lot of them that don't give two flips either. And in that case, you want to do something else. There is an ice breath available at that cathedral as well, and then if you kill the ice dragon, you can get the higher tier. There are enough fire enemies that there's probably room to really get some mileage out of that. So if I was you, I'd probably take my first few dragon hearts, and I would probably just grab the rot breath, the fire breath, and the ice breath would be like my first three. Because they can be used from horseback, they can be grabbed at that cathedral, and they're going to cover your whole set. You see an enemy on fire, spitting fire, hit him with ice. You see an enemy spitting, you know, an enemy that looks like it's wooden, should be vulnerable to fire, burn it. If you're not sure, rot breath it. Or if it's alive, just use the rot breath in general, unless it's literally you're sure it's vulnerable to one of the others or it's immune to rot breath. And you've got all the freaking breaths you need to go through the game. Getting the lightning, like I said, super friggin' easy. It's a great utility spell. Once you got that, going and slowly working your way through getting the death roots is actually easier. Like the order I would actually suggest you do that in. Well, if you can get Beast Fling, get it. You remember my last video. Beast Fling is really good for killing dragons. But once you've got a dragon kill under your belt, which you probably could do with like the first dragon with lightning bolt or even a variety of ways, they're just not that hard. Some of the dragons are pretty easy to kill. The first one out there I showed you in the lake is not that bad. But if you're having trouble, Beast Fling will get it done. Once you got a heart, I would go straight for Rot Breath because you can use that to kill the other dragon. You know, you can use that to take the other dragons out, except for the Decay Dragon, obviously. But you can kill your other dragons without too much trouble with it, and you can kill most of the enemies in the game with it. Then move on and go from there. But once you've got the Rot Breath, you're going to be able to kill most living targets easily. Lightning Bolt will work on a lot of stuff. You're good to go. But that's the Faith build. We're not going to make this video as long as the other. Like I said, all in all, very satisfying gameplay experience. I've had a lot of frustrations, times that you tried to dodge or move and it didn't work. But I feel like everything's beatable. It's just sometimes the cards got to line up. You know, or the stars got to line up with how crazy some of them are. But everything's beatable. And that's what you want to, you know, you want your build to be able to do it. The Faith build feels like it can go the whole mile. But you're going to die a lot because you're playing a character class that requires you don't get hit a lot. But when it goes your way, you straight bully some enemies, man. I mean, I have just destroyed some encounters in a way that I almost went like, that probably shouldn't have been that simple. So, you know, and it didn't feel like I was doing amazing gameplay. It was just, oh, I managed to catch you at the right time and just hose you down with dragony death. Or, oh, it's a small, fast humanoid enemy, but I got Dragon Claw, which knocks down, go under Dragon Bite, and I just chomped your butt into the ground, and you're sucking dirt. You can't get up, and I'm on that tail. Because you can spam 2 Dragon Claws back to back and knock some enemies down, and that's it. They just can't get up before you tore through a huge chunk of their health. So, good stuff. Rot Breath is also good for those invasions, the computer invasions, you know, and possibly even the others. The wide radius of the breath, especially when you get a good distance away, could even work in PvP because the radius is massive, and the further away, the bigger the cone. So if the person isn't smart enough to know that you're the one to be watching, or the other character is just on their butt, you got an ally, it's a 2v2 or whatever, especially, then getting a little distance and spamming Rot Breath probably means they're dead. Because the radius is so big, they're not going to be able to easily dodge, especially if you do the fully charged. They're going to probably get hit. They're going to take massive blood rot, decay damage, and then they're going to be taking high tick damage. It's just going to keep eating away at them and probably get them out of there. Another PvP spell that apparently some people have figured out that's pretty monstrous is the other spell you can learn when you go in and get the lightning bolt. Is they also sell this little mammal jammer right here, which is honed bolt. I'm not going to give you a demonstration. It's really simple. You hold your hand up and a lightning bolt comes down and strikes them. There's an acid of war that people have been using with this to tear people a new butt, because it's really hard to avoid the strike. I mean, it comes down from the sky. It's incredibly fast. It's perfectly zeroed in. You also can keep hitting the button to spam it until you run out of mana. As a faith build, you can learn the spell version. And I imagine this would be pretty devastating in PvP because your target's forced to do nothing but dodge pretty much at that point, because you can just start spamming these bolts down. And once they hit, they're going to stagger and do a bunch of damage, and you can just pound a guy with this that's in range once it starts casting. And I've watched videos, and apparently it does a pretty good job. So if you're going to do PvP, Honed Bolt seems to be a nasty spell to have. Again, especially in 2v2 or the like, it forces them to keep an eye on you as well, which can be pretty fearsome. This spell catches my eye because since it's a spell summon, I wonder if it works in PvP. Because one of the biggest things is you can't summon, you do your normal spirit summons in PvP. So one of the reasons I want to try a wizard now is to come back and tell you guys, does Tibia summons work in PvP? And if it does, which you can test whenever you get invaded as part of the story, because those follow the same rules. You get kicked off your horse, you can't summon. So if I can use these in those fights, that could be interesting, because it means you could get something on the field that's a distraction, and then, you know, spam spells at them while they're worried about getting hit by your little summon creatures. So, potential. You know what I'm saying? There's potential there. Though, like I said, it's an intelligence faith, so who knows if it's any good or not. But, all right then, people. We're going to let you go. We've done it. We've covered most of it. If something new comes in, we'll let you know. I mean, I know you see some other spells down here, but if I'm not mentioning it, it's probably because it's not worth it. Like this spell uses 2 entire slots. It's a Faith 41, costs a massive amount of FP, but is also one of the trickier spells to use. You summon a ball of fire. It floats down. It charges up. Then it explodes. It hits hard when it explodes. The problem is, and it has a bit of tracking, but if it's not a slow-moving enemy, it's just going to miss. It's going to be blunt. It's going to miss. Like, it needs to be a very slow-moving enemy. You can only have one of them in the air at a time. If you cast it again, it cancels the previous one. You can cast it from horseback, but again, except for a very slow-moving target, this is not really an improvement over just spewing fire. Like, between the two, I've found the fire does direct, immediate damage, and you can get a lot of that damage off. But if you're going to circle an enemy and drop that on them, I guess it works. But like I said, other than the fact that once you cast it, you can circle the enemy safely until the spell goes off, okay, yeah. And it burns the ground, but the DOT on that's not impressive. But I've had a way, I tried to kill a corrupted archery root with this, and I kept getting to half health and then dying. Then I just did this and I killed it. So there you go. I mean, then I just did this and I just made my distances very correct. And I stopped doing the fully charged breath so I could get out of the animation faster. Killed it. So when any situation that this has been useful, that's been more useful. And there it is. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like you know, with the cost of that and the 2 slots, this is proven better. And this ain't even the upgraded one. Like once I get some more Dragon Hearts and I get the Tier 2 floaty version, like these named versions, probably would have done it even better, but I was doing horseback anyway. So, yeah, you've seen the spells that matter that are in here. Beast Claw is solid. Worth the effort to get what you get it, but maybe don't go out hunting it before you get Lightning Spear. Hone Bolt for fun. Maybe this will work on the invaders. Haven't thought about trying it, but I didn't have it when I've killed all the ones I've seen so far. I've already killed all the ones I know of in the early part of the game that evade you. But, I mean, you can pound those bolts on them, man. But it's mainly going to be Lightning Spear and the Dragon Breath, period. Dragon Breath. These, honestly, wasted points. Like I said, when you can get these, they're fun because of the knockdown effect, and some bosses can get reamed. But usually, if you can get the distance and use Rotten Breath, you'll be good. And honestly, any situation where these can be used, you probably could just spam Beast Claw if you have it. So these are fun. Get your breath weapons first. If I redid it, I would have taken these 2 hearts, and I would have the ice breath already. Like I would have got the ice breath. I would have started off, and I would have went rot, fire, then I would have went ice, magic, and just cover all my breaths. And I probably wouldn't have done any of the upgraded. I did these not knowing they didn't work from horseback. They are powerful on foot, but the difference isn't so massive that you wouldn't rather get all of your horseback breaths for killing world bosses first. All right, there you go. You know, we always enjoy having you. We hope that you've enjoyed our video here. I'm not going to do a full coverage of the wizard. I might, when I get the staff, just show you how much easier the beginning I have, and then I'll do a video telling you how the killing dragons and stuff went, so you can find out which one. Because remember, you could respec. This is a very important factor. The fact that you can respec, once it's all over there in this area where the respecking is. Like, supposedly the boss here eventually unlocks respecking, and then in this area there's some enemies you kill to get the resource required to respec. And being blunt about it, you got no reason to not just take whichever one of these builds works best and then retroactively respec, if that makes any sense. So, you know, you really probably want to do the smart thing. Level a character up, get most of what you need, and then respec if you want to do something one way or another, because the starting stats don't really matter that much when you've got enough levels under your belt. To be blunt, enough levels under your belt, none of that matters anymore. At all. Like completely non-issue. Once you manage to put some actual meat on the bone, and you've beefed up and acquired some actual levels, then, I mean, yeah, each level is 1 point, but as long as it wasn't a character that had a low score in a stat, you probably don't care. And as long as you're not respecking way out, like if you're playing an extremist character, yeah, if some of the really extreme characters where you end up with a really high strength and you want to respec it to a wizard, no, honestly, still doable if you're like level 70 or 80, because a certain amount of strength means you can wield some of these better weapons. So even for a wizard, I've shown you already, there's a whole bunch of magic-based blades, like there, magic scaling blade, you know what I'm saying? Like I've sold several of them, but I had a whole bunch of magic scaling blades in my repertoire, and some of them had strength requirements, you know what I'm saying, that were up there. There was even a couple of magic scaling two-handed swords. So having a bit of strength won't kill you. So you can respect any build, is what I'm trying to say. Like this character, I could respect this character to be a wizard if I wanted, but I'm a role player in my heart. So you're not outside to go kill that boss. And I have different characters in my head. This is Talon, and Magus is my wizard, and Mortis is my necromancer. And if I'm going to do it, I'd build a new character. Same thing for a warrior. I'm going to have at least 3 characters, maybe 4 if I decide to separate the dex and strength. But honestly, I could probably respec that build either way, because I'll probably grab the samurai, but I can probably respec the samurai easily, because you need dex also. The respec in the samurai to get more strength, to be a more strength build, ain't going to be a problem. But there you go. So you can respec, so that's why I'm going to come back to you with the wizard and tell you which one's easier to level and to get past this stuff and grab all of these things. Because if the wizard's a way easier early game play with what I just showed you, probably, then, you know, it may be easier for you to grab a wizard, kill all the dragons, kill everything, build up, and then, you know, start grabbing the other materials. Start grabbing what you want and respecting your spellcaster. Because the wizard build's going to be you're not going to have too much trouble. You're going to be used to the gameplay style. But faith build dragon. All right, people going to disagree with me and go to hell. Dragon. Other than lightning spear, I need to check out Black Flame. If it's good, I'll come back, but I doubt it. I saw how the spell works. I've seen a video. I just don't expect Black Flame is just going to be this super hard-hitting spell compared to what I have. Lightning Spear, Dragon Breath, Beast Fling, and Beast Claw. That's your stuff. With Dragon Flame being the absolute pure faith build run. If you're going to be a pure faith caster, you're going to want the Dragon Flames for taking out the big boys, because the other spells are good. Lightning Bolt's good. It ain't got I haven't found a pure faith spell that's got the oomph that even competes with dragons. I mean, hell, it's dragons, guys. Come on. Dragons. It's effing dragons. Become the Dragonborn. The real Dragonborn with some serious dragon power. Dang it. I should have named this character the Dragonborn. Damn. Now I'm pissed. Shit. It was a good one. All right. All right, there you go. Be the real Dovahkiin. Use the dragon. The dragons are the way to go. As always, we watch our videos. We hope you enjoy, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching the video. We hope you found the content helpful. If you did so, please hit the thumbs up as it helps spread the channel for other viewers. As always, you can watch Dice Junkies live on Twitch at 3:30 Central Standard Time on Sundays. We also stream gaming content on Twitch throughout the week, so be sure to subscribe there as well. If you can, please go ahead, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're up to date on all the Dice Junkies content. As always, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy. They fucked my tomatoes up!